Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, this is Mimi React. On this channel, I react to TV shows, pop culture news, and all the things. So this is going to be a pretty short video because there's not much that I'm going to be talking about this week. But the first thing that I want to talk about is Teyana Taylor and Aaron. Y'all know I've made like maybe 2 videos on them already, from the moment the rumors were going around that they were dating to the moment they confirmed it on the internet. And she recently sat down to talk about her music, her project that's out, and she just talked about her relationship with him as far as the professional aspect of it as well, because they're both creators and they're both so passionate about making their vision come to light and things like that. So she did this interview where they ask like, how did working with him like help to pretty much bring the vision to light? And she pretty much gave him his flowers. She talked about how he's as passionate as her and how he handles her at like a cup of tea. And she even compared it to like a bottle of water. When you're holding a bottle of water, you don't necessarily have to be careful because it's like closed, and the bottle could fall and the water will still be good. But if you're holding a cup of tea, one, you don't want to spill it on yourself and burn yourself, and then two, you don't want to spill your tea, right? So she said that that's how gentle he is with her. He handles her so well, and I just think this two is so cute. But I'll put the video here for you guys to see.
Aaron has been involved in this project and the creative process or inspiration process for you?
He damn near like EP'd it. Not literally, but like
yeah,
damn near, It felt good to have someone be as passionate and as serious as you are. When you work on to have someone on your side fully hear you and don't think that your visions are crazy, don't think that what you see or what you feel is crazy. And also, I'm really big on how you handle me, and I feel like you gotta handle me like a cup of tea. Mm-hmm. How would you walk with a cup of tea versus how you would walk with a bottle of water? You walk with a bottle of water, you like, yeah, you shaking the water, you throwing it up and down, you did it out. But a cup of tea, you walk slower, you're more calm, you're more delicate. And even when you sip it, what happens if you sip the tea too fast? You're gonna burn your tongue. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like I am a cup of tea, and I feel like he handles me as such.
But yeah, as you guys can see, I love these two together, and whatever it is, I don't know if they're in a serious relationship or they're just having fun or it's just a phase. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, I think they'll look cute together. But however, it's a lot of men though. It's a lot of men. It's men that I actually have close friendship with, even family members who are like just hating on him. A lot of people are saying like, oh, he's more feminine than her, and just a whole lot of negative things to say. But I feel like if both of them don't care about what people think, and they can just be happy. I love the fact that they're not out there making their relationship content, but they're also like it's public that they're together, but they're also not turning their relationship to content. Like sometimes people get into a relationship and all you see is them posting each other all the time. They become like a brand and become like a content, and when the relationship go bad, now it's like people are all in your business. Like them, it's like, yeah, they post every now and then when they're like award shows and things like that, but they're not like, they're still very private and still keep certain things to themselves, and I love that about them. So yeah, I just hope I just hope they look cute together, and I hope they're happy. And that's all I have to say about them. I love Teyana. And Aaron, I don't really know much about him. I found out about him when he went viral, but he seemed like a cool dude, and he seems like he got his head straight. So I just wish them well. The next thing that I want to talk about is this. Actually, this was on my list like 2 weeks ago, but I totally forgot to talk about it. But I got to put it in this video. One of the escort in the Diddy case with Cassie, he went viral for saying some things. He said that apparently Cassie was pregnant with his child, and he unalived the child without his, I guess, consent, or maybe he didn't know or something like that. And y'all, when I saw this, I went straight to the comments because I wanted to see what people are going to say. And a lot of people were saying like exactly what I was thinking.
Exposed herself to liability when she got on the stand and decided to mention me as the male escort who was with her when she overdosed and Diddy made her have sex with him. That was a lie, people. People, she tells you that Sean Combs made her have sex on her menstrual cycle. I can't speak for anyone else but myself. But I know the one time that did happen, that Sean Combs was not responsible for that Cassie, in a drunken, intoxicated, hormonally imbalanced state due to her period, manipulated and forced herself on me during her menstrual cycle. And what I mean by that is I had no knowledge she was on her menstrual cycle because the room was completely dark. She manipulated the room. If I had laid down with a woman and forced myself on her and orgasmed in her and she got up and it was leaking out of her, guess what? I would have raped her. So by statute, by case law definition, Cassandra Ventura sexually assaulted me. I'm not looking to destroy Cassie. I've given Cassie more than a year to settle this before things got out of control. The problem is she's being supported by women like you who would choose to attack male victims instead of accept the truth, which is that a woman could have lied to get revenge on the ex-boyfriend who broke her heart and hurt her. It happens, people. Cassie did this to herself. They say he who sets out on a course of revenge should dig 2 graves. People, Cassie dug the grave that is Clayton Howard herself. Cassie got on the stand trying to destroy Diddy. She should have took her $20-30 million and walked into the sunset.
A lot of people in the comment were saying like Diddy and Cassie were just hiring any and everybody, right? Because when I first heard about the whole freak off things, I thought maybe they were hiring high caliber people of high class, people that also has, I guess, something to lose, or people that have images to lose, because there are people like that who are like, you know, like they have such a high class, but they're freaky. They like freaky things. So I thought these escort are like people of some type of class. I'm not saying this dude, it doesn't have class, but I'm just saying like the way he presented himself on the internet, it's just not giving like a man that respect himself. He's not giving a man that I don't know. I just feel like just the way he was talking, the way he just didn't care, you know. I do understand like this was all like a hush hush until Cassie name dropped some of these people, but at the end of the day, I still feel like, you know, you should have just like, yeah, if you want to tell your truth and just keep it moving. But then now it's being alleged that he is suing Diddy and Cassie because of apparently she was pregnant for him and unalived a child. So now he's suing her for that. And I'm just like, I don't know, like, did these people had contracts? Like, if you get pregnant or if I get pregnant, I have the right to terminate the pregnancy, or like, did it have anything in like a document thing? I don't know. Like, I was just like thinking like Diddy was just doing these things without contract, or Cassie was just agreeing to these things with no conditions apply to protect herself, to protect all parties involved. That's what it seems like. It seems like there were no contract, there were no document in place to protect all the parties that were involved. But if that's the case, he might have a right to sue. But I don't know. I just feel like in that whole like lawsuit thing and the whole freak offs thing, I feel like the escorts are not innocent. That's just how I feel. I feel like the escorts or the freak off people that they hire, I feel like they're not innocent, because you knew what you were getting yourself into. You know what this was all about, and you agreed to it. And I feel like you go into this. This was a consensual activity, because you agreed to it. You got paid for it, and it's just like, let's say you were a corn star, right? And then the person that you had a video with, a whole production with, get pregnant. I feel like maybe that person has the right to terminate the pregnancy, because that was not the intention of the video that y'all made. This is just how I'm processing all of this. Obviously, I'm just giving my own opinion outside of my religion. Obviously, I'm a Christian. I would not do none of this, right? I would not agree to any of this. But I'm just giving my opinion, because none of these people are Christians, right? If this was your contract, if this was part of the activity that you guys were doing, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I guess he does have a right to sue, but then it's like, why now? Or like, I don't know if he knew until the court case. I don't know the whole situation, but it's just like, I don't know. I just was like, these people were just hiring anybody and everybody, because I personally was thinking, at least if you're going to hire people that are celebrities. There are celebrities out there like who are high class celebrities, but they're freaks, right? Shannon Sharp is one of them. So like, hire people that also got something to lose. That's how I was feeling about this whole situation. Even with the whole Shannon Sharp thing with the OnlyFans girl, I'm like, if you're gonna mess with women that are so young, at least mess with women that have something to lose as well. Give you a perfect example. Halle Bailey, Chloe Bailey, they're young, super young, but they also got something to lose, right? They have an image to lose. They have their brand. They have things to lose. But when you mess with women that have nothing to lose, or men that have nothing to lose, and you have situations like these. So I just feel like, I don't know how that court case is gonna play out, but I'm all ears, all eyes to see and hear what's going to happen with that court case. But it's a whole lot. Okay. Now, the last thing I want to talk about in this video is Yandy. And we all know I did a video before talking about Yandy and Mendeecees. Their marriage, I feel like obviously their marriage is not perfect from what we have seen through social media the past couple of months and things like that. People have accused Mendeecees of cheating. They have accused Yandy of cheating. Someone even came to the media and confirmed that he did sleep with Yandy, and it's a whole lot going on there. To me, it kind of, at this point, it seems like they have an open marriage. I'm not really sure. I'm just saying, speculating things and making things up in my own head. I'm not saying this is true, but it just seems like these people have open marriage. And Yandy did an interview, and I just saw clips. I have not watched the entire video. So where she's pretty much asking the audience, her fans, for grace, saying that they are people with feelings like everybody else. The only difference is their marriage is up for display in the public.
It is so challenging to hear people's feelings and thoughts in those inner private moments. But I think one of the things about life is you live it, you go through things, and you get through them. And I think the thing that I think has been my longevity on the show has been how authentic I've been with my life. We go through things as well. So also, when you guys are leaving comments, just know that we are real humans. We try not to take things personal when we don't know you personally, but
You're a human.
We are human, right? And a lot of the things we go through, we are not anomalies, right? Y'all be going through the stuff too. It's just our stuff is broadcasted.
Which I agree with, because a lot of what they're going through, a lot of marriages go through, is the fact the only difference is hers is in display for the whole world to see, right? But I also feel like, I don't know, I also feel like, number one, obviously, we all know a lot of their relationship seems to me at this point like it's business, because we know Yandy never signed the court papers for the wedding. She's not legally married to Mendeecees, and her reasoning for that is because she said it on the show very early on, early seasons of the show. She said that the reason for that is because he has a whole lot of child support and she's not paying for his child support. In that sense, I kind of understand where she was coming from, because if you know anything about Yandy, I feel like she's a businesswoman first, right? Even though, the appropriate thing to do is be a wife first and then be a businesswoman and then everything else. But I feel personally, this is just my opinion, might be wrong, I feel like Yandy is like businesswoman first and then wife and then family, which is that's what works for her. That's what it seems like, that's what works for her. And I do understand the part that she's not trying to pay for his child support, right? You try to protect your own money. So like legally they're not married, they're just married, I guess, in front of, I guess, by a pastor or things like that. Spiritually you could say they're married, but legally they're not married. But her asking the internet for grace and saying that they're just humans and things like that, they make mistakes and stuff like that. And I just find it really funny how her messaging shifted, because a couple of months ago she was crying on the show, because I saw clips. I don't watch the show anymore, but I saw clips where she was crying, saying that people are just trying to tear down her marriage, let at least one marriage survive. And now all of a sudden she's asking for grace. So meaning that she's not innocent either. She's probably doing her thing too. She probably got to a point where she knows, fully aware that her husband is doing things behind her back, and she's like, okay, well, I'm gonna do me too. And now she's asking the public for grace, right? And I just was like, oh, this is very interesting. This is very interesting. And marriage looked different for a lot of people, and for them, obviously, it looks different. It's more so business to me, because for the life of me, I don't know why her and Mendici are still doing that show, because I feel like they have enough businesses outside of the show to still be able to like sustain the lifestyle that they have. But I don't know how much the Love and Hip Hop check is for them, because they've been on it for so long. So I know they're probably one of the highest paying people on the show. I know that, well, it's not that I know that. I'm assuming that, because she also has personal relationship with Mona Scott. So but yeah, so that's just how I feel. I feel like it was very interesting. Now she's asking the public for grace. Do you guys give her grace? And I just was like, this is what happens when you bring your relationship to the public. You decide to do a reality show, because now you're asking the public for grace when this is supposed to be just between you and your husband and your family, right? This is why I am not a fan of people turning their marriages, their families into content, into TV shows. I'm just not a fan of it. But, some people love to do it for different reasons, and I can't judge anyone for that. But I just thought it was funny that, the messaging has shifted for her. I would love to know what space Mendici is at right now mentally and things like that. I would want to know how, if they still, the love and affection is still there, the spark is still there in the marriage with everything that's went on. And I would also love to know if they are willing to go to therapy. Maybe they are in therapy, I don't know, but if they're willing to go to therapy, because I've seen worst happen in marriages, and people go to therapy and their marriage is restored, their love for each other is restored, their intimacy is restored. So I know there's nothing God cannot do, right? Because I am a big fan of marriages. I don't like seeing marriages fall apart. The only time I think it's okay to fully walk away from marriage, right, is if your life is in danger. If your life is in danger anyway, if the man's life is in danger, the woman is so abusive that he's scared for his life, or if the woman's life is in danger, he's so abusive and she's scared for her life, I think then, listen, you gotta live, you gotta stay alive, right? Then you can bye go. But I think any other thing y'all can really work through. I know the Bible, of course, according to the Bible, infidelity is a reason for you to leave a marriage. But I also think that if you guys both put God in the center before you get to that decision, there's space for restoration. There's space for your love to be revived, your love to be restored, your marriage and your intimacy to be restored for each other. So yeah, those are all the things that I have for Yandy and Mendici. I wish them well, because they have such beautiful family, beautiful children, and I wish them well. But yeah, let me know how you guys feel about everything that I just talked about today. I will see y'all in another video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all. Bye.